We have more breaking news today. This time it has nothing to do with contracts, nothing to do like yesterday was Keselowski signing with Penske, re-signing with Penske. It's nothing like that. It's actually the opposite. Leavine Family Racing, or Leavine Family Racing, I'll pronounce it one way this whole time or I'll keep flip-flopping, but has sold their team. There were rumors about it circulating that the pandemic had hurt them financially and that they were looking for someone to sell to or something like that. And they just announced this morning that they have sold their team. They've sold their charter and their assets. So here's the statement from Bob Leavine, the team owner. It's with great sadness today that I announce the sale of Leavine Family Racing assets and charter. Since 2011, Sharon and our entire family have enjoyed being a part of the NASCAR family, with Matt DiLiberto joining the family as a co-owner in 2016. We will say goodbye at the conclusion of the 2020 NASCAR Cup Series season. This decision has not been made lightly. Family has always been a part of the team's name, and this is how we view every member of our race team, as our family. There's no good time to make this announcement, but doing it earlier allows our people to explore employment opportunities for next season to provide for their families. There will be opportunities with the new owners, which was very important to our decision. This year has been very challenging, not only for our race team, but our industry, our country, and the entire world. The pandemic has impacted our economy, and unfortunately, that's just not something we are able to overcome in order to continue racing beyond the season. Leavine Family Racing will continue to compete through the end of 2020, and we want to leave on a positive note, contending for top finishes with Christopher Bell, Toyota, TRD, and all of our partners. Thank you to everyone for your support through this journey. Thank you to our partners and fans, and most of all, thank you to everyone who has been a part of Leavine Family Racing family over the last decade. So, sad. We saw something similar to this a couple years ago with Furniture Row Racing, if you remember. Pandemic did not end Furniture Row, but financial issues, funding ended that team, if you remember. And of course, both have something very in common. An alliance with Joe Gibbs Racing. I'm assuming that cannot come at a cheap price. And, Leavine Family Racing, when they brought in Christopher Bell to the 95 car, he brought some sponsors with him. So that definitely helped the team, like Ream. They had already had some sponsors with them when Bell had moved over. Procore, I think, was one of them. And then last year with Matt DiBenedetto, they would run that Toyota maintenance car or whatever. But yeah, obviously a very, very sad. It's very sad to see a team shut down. Doesn't matter what team it is. It's unfortunate. These times have caused financial troubles on people and companies all across the country and all across the world, I'm sure. And it's unfortunate to see that a race team was struck by it. The 95 was starting to do pretty good, I would say, over the past couple of years. We saw last year Matt DiBenedetto competed for a couple wins. We saw him at Bristol, led 90-plus laps, got passed with about 10 to go at Bristol and almost won the thing, ended up finishing second. That was probably one of their best races in the team's history. And then this year, Christopher Bell, he's gotten a couple top fives, a couple top tens. He had a rough start to the season, but he started to come around. He's only a few points out of the top 20 in points. If they can get together here in a couple weeks and they can get a win, that'll put them in the playoffs, and I think that would be a cool story for them. And their last season to make the playoffs, get a race win. So they still got some time in 2020 to add some success to the team's history to do that. But it as I said yesterday, when Keselowski signed, it opened a lot of questions for other things. That's the same thing here. With the 95 team, Leavine Family Racing shutting down, I think they sold to Spire Motorsports. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'll look that up real quick. There have been multiple bidders, according to Adam Stern, but industry sources have pegged Spire as the leading candidate. If you remember, Spire Motorsports was the team that Justin Haley ran for last year when he ran at Daytona and ended up winning that rain-shortened race. So Spire has some success in the Cup Series, I would say. But anyways, they bought the charter and the assets, I guess. But back to my point with all the questions unanswered. Christopher Bell is a young, talented driver, and he is now in the free agent market. Toyota is definitely going to want to keep him. And Eric Jones is in a contract year, so will Bell go to the 20 to replace Jones? Jones has not been having a hot couple years here. He's got a couple wins on his resume, but he hasn't been making deep playoff runs. He hasn't been consistently winning, consistently running up front. Are they going to kick him out and let Christopher Bell come in? What are they going to do? I think, man, it's tough. And if Gibbs ends up keeping Eric Jones, where will Bell go? There's a lot of options available. We see the 42 car is going to be open next year as of now. The 48 car, potentially the 43 car. Some Stewart Haas cars might be open. So if Bell does not end up staying in the Toyota family and ends up going elsewhere, where could he go? Could he end up in a Stewart Haas Ford? Could he end up in a Hendrick Motorsports Chevy, a Chip Ganassi Chevy? I think it'll be interesting to see, but if I had to bet, I think that Eric Jones does not return to the 20 car, and I think that Bell would go to the 20 car. That fourth Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. Stay in the Toyota family. He's been with Toyota for a while now. I think he drove for Kyle Busch in the trucks. And then last year, the last couple of years in Xfinity, he was with Joe Gibbs Racing. So I would expect Joe Gibbs Racing to give him a contract to race for their race team over the next couple of years. He's young, he's talented, he's got some time to develop, and Jones just hasn't been putting the results through. I'm sorry, Eric Jones fans. I like him. He seems like a nice guy, but it's true. 2 wins in a Joe Gibbs Racing car over, 3-4 years? I mean, look at Denny Hamlin. It's hard to compare him to his teammates because his teammates are really good, and all 3 are most likely Hall of Famers, so that's very difficult to compare, but they're all winning, they're all in Joe Gibbs cars. Joe Gibbs cars are amazing. Nothing against Eric Jones. I think he's still a good driver, but he's still in a Joe Gibbs car. I think he should be doing a little bit better than he's doing. He's currently outside of the playoffs. He's on the bubble. He has yet to win in 2020. Last year, he was on the bubble until he won at Darlington. 2018, he got a win at Daytona. So, and he hasn't made a deep playoff run either. So I just don't see enough to keep Jones in that car over Bell when Bell has more potential and has more to prove than Eric Jones right now. So I could definitely see Bell replacing Jones in the 20 car. But as for Eric Jones, could he go to the 48? Could he go to the 43, the 42? Yada, yada, yada. But yeah, it's sad to see a team go. Just like Furniture Row, they had that alliance, and then it ended, unfortunately, because they couldn't get sponsorship deals. They couldn't get that money, but it's always sad to see a team go. It doesn't matter if it's Furniture Row, Leavine, I don't know how it's pronounced, Family Racing. But hopefully they have a good 2020, rest of the 2020 season. 2020 sucked for a lot of people, especially them. I hope everyone there can have success. They can go get new jobs, hopefully go get some more money, go work for a different team. I don't know, but best of luck to everyone there. I hope they can get their situation figured out. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, if you feel informed, hit that like button. If you want to subscribe, which you do, hit the subscribe button. And yeah, so the Jimmy Johnson thing, I was going to post it Monday, then the Brad Keselowski news broke. I was going to post it today, and I woke up to the Leavine Family Racing news. So yeah, that will now be tomorrow. And if there's more news tomorrow, it'll be Thursday. And if not, I might just do 2 videos in one day, and we'll deal with it.